Hello and welcome to your latest instalment of everyone's favourite streamed version of CM0102, the Super League and Super Sunday. And matching up with Steve's comment there where he's put buzzing for tonight, don't know why. I'm delighted to say on the eve of his going on holiday, equally buzzing for tonight because he's said to me just off air a few seconds ago, it's going to be an important night in his opinion. The man who I must say on camera is looking very fit tonight. Hull's boss Jens, how are you, pal?
I'm very well, thank you. Pleasure to be on.
It's an absolute delight to have you on tonight, and I'm sure everyone in the chat is looking forward to everything you have to say about their teams. I've seen Greavesy's here, Steve is here, Duggan as well. How are you, chaps? I'm sure there'll be a few more switching on shortly. Let's have a quick look. So obviously, Ghost Games permitting, your visit to the defending champions will be on last. But what's your take on that game? I mean, it's 4th versus 7th. That's a key game, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah, it's a very important one. I think Dudley's been a team we've struggled against, at least for the last 2 seasons. I'd be happy with a draw. I think it's important. The most important thing for us today is not to lose. I think Dudley is solid, even though they've been on a bit of a rough patch.
Good evening to Hodgie and Tato. I can't wait till you can change your YouTube name, mate. It's getting tiresome calling you Mr. Piers now. Mr. Edwards joining in as well. Jens, I forgot to ask you if you've got a second device with the chat up. So just in case, Duggan sends his love. And Greavesy with the face emoji with the love heart eyes says sexy Jens on comms, as Dimble and Alf join in as well. So a lot of love coming in for you already.
Yeah, I've got it on the big screen. I don't have access to writing myself, but I'll keep tabs on what's coming up.
Excellent. Let's have a quick look at the league table and get your thoughts on it. 18 games gone, which means 6 games of the regular season left. Only a couple of weeks. 3 weeks time we'll be in the playoffs. Or unless there's any skipped games for any reason, but there's no forecast for it. So yeah, 3 weeks left of the regular season.
Yeah, it's except for Fulchester and Haggis, it's as tight as a nun's vagina, isn't it?
Hodges, right? That was really shit maths by me. 8 games.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, Fulchester and Haggis look so strong that you're gonna have to expect them to finish first and second, and then it's between 10 teams for the final 4 spots. So it's exciting.
So as we said, you're currently in 4th. You and Churchtown and Devils on 27 points, but only 1 point separates you from being below the dotted line. And as you said, it's very tight. I mean, you've got a 3-point gap to Ledisford, 4-point gap to Bostock. Are you realistically thinking, being in 4th at this stage would usually say teams around there are going to make it, or are you thinking it's far too tight to call at the moment?
It's extremely tight, isn't it? Yeah, you lose tonight and you're below the dotted line, and you win next week and you're above it again. So at this stage, it's just about trying to grab as many points as you can, really. Also, with the points being so tight, I think if you can go on and win a couple of games with big numbers, like we did last time out against Dragons, the goal difference could be massive.
You've already alluded to Haggis and Fulchester looking like they're going to run away with it for the top 2 spots. When you look at the teams below the dotted line, we always say that there's at least one team who goes on a run towards the end of the season. Which of these sides do you worry about most if they were to get ahead of steam?
It's hard to say because I think it's all those 3, especially sides below the dotted line, Dudley, Ledisford, and Bostock, are capable of putting a run together, and I wouldn't put it past Alf or Duggan either to do it. So I mean, between 3rd or between us and 11th, it's bingo for me.
And
I think Churchtown are going to make it because I think they look extremely solid, and Dimble obviously knows what he's doing.
Churchtown do look very good in the majority of fixtures. One team I'm interested in your thoughts on, Northern Burn bottom, but last time out against champions, the stats might not say that they dominated the game, but the text certainly gave the impression it was a lot more Burn-like. The individual players' stats looked generally a lot more Burn-like. And when you look at their remaining fixtures, obviously they're playing a lot of teams in the top 6 currently. In fact, just about every team in the top 6 is a quick scan there. Do you think they can still have a major say in what happens here?
Well, definitely. I think, in my opinion, this Burn squad is still one of the strongest on paper, and they've won it before. I just think Ian's been very unlucky with, losing a couple of games and then probably getting low morale on his squad, and it's been really hard to turn it around. But we saw last match against Dudley that they're still capable of beating anyone. So yeah, they're going to have a massive part, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, is there any particular game you would like to start tonight off with, or do we go at random?
We can go at random. The only thing I think we should do is probably save Haggis Fulchester to a little bit later for the excitement.
No problem at all. And we're definitely not starting with Dudley v Halls either. So let's just go to the top. We'll start with Dragons versus Astor then. Astor in 10th, Dragons in 11th. In that cluster of teams on 21 points. I think we alluded to it Thursday night on comms. This is kind of, both teams have to win this, and a draw doesn't suit anybody other than everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah, it's make or break. I think Duggan said last time out against us that that game would decide if they would be in the playoff chase or not. But I think this is the game that really decides it. If he wins tonight, then it's back in it again. Same goes for Alf and Astor. But the team who loses will have a long way to go if they're going to challenge for anything.
No, absolutely. Last time out, we were just seeing there that Astor drew 2-2 with 10-man Bostock. Astor don't have a great record. Only one win during the tenure of this save against Dragons. Let's have a look at the team Alf selected. And you may have spotted there Emerson, the big suspension for this one. And that's prompted a slight alteration for Astor for this one. DeVio partners Rossini up front. Franco, who's been probably the key man for him this year, continues in his position. Finnan back out on the left wing. And Placente playing centrally alongside Ambrosini.
Yeah, it's a very Alf looking team, isn't it? I'm not a big fan of Emre in the game, and suddenly definitely not Soul CM. But it's got Ambrosini who can do a good job there, and yeah, Franco and Rossini is scoring goals. So yeah, a decent team there.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at what the Dragons have done then. Last time out, obviously, you got up close and personal and give them a right good hammering. 3-0 on Thursday night. They keep the same tactics but move a few players around. So I'll try and remember everything. Evening, Scott and Rob, who have joined the chat. I'll see if I can remember everything that's moved around here. So Said's come into defensive midfield in place of Lazans. Dyer's moved out to the right. The Polish lad's gone back further forward. Raquelme's dropped back to centre midfield and now has the diagonal arrow. We don't win this. We don't deserve to be anywhere near the playoffs. Let's be honest, says Duggan. I think that's about it. They've just kind of done a big circle with these players and brought Said in.
Yeah, and it's the major thing for me is just put Kieran Dyer back on the wing. I don't know if he played there against me, but he played centrally a game, and he's good centrally as well. But it's, in my opinion, out wide where you can get the best out of him. That Dragons team is that's an 11 that can beat anyone on their day, and also an 11 that can lose to anyone if they have a bad day.
Absolutely.
But I expect them to get the win here.
Okay. So you've just said there you expect them to get the win. Have you got a score prediction at all, please?
I think that attacking that front two is going to be too tough to handle for Astor. So I'm going to say, before I go and grab a beer, and you have to comment the first half of
That's absolutely fine.
the show by yourself, I'm going to say 3-1.
3-1. No problem at all. Duggan saying Bishkan's a huge miss. Let's kick off the first game of the night then, as Asta come forward very early and take the lead early. And it's presented with his first ever goal for the away side. Dragons level thing up through Sigalko on 6 minutes, and then Montella gets injured. Are we going to see Big John Carew get 80 minutes tonight? Or is Sigalko going to get back to playing up front on his own? Interesting to see what Dragons do here. But a flying start, straightforward swap with Carew. Both sides on the score sheet within the opening 6 or 7 minutes. So we do have an exciting game in prospect if this is to carry on. Aska forward again through Franca. And Placente look like having another go now. Baumer and Sigalko. Dragons look to have got a bit more dominance about them now. As I say that, DeVio scores, and his first goal for Astor Athletic. It's 2-1 to the away side. Sigalko comes forward again, looking to level things up. Another corner. It's 2-2. What a game to start this is. Are we going to get a fifth goal this half?
What a half of football.
And it is 3-2. Sigalko on 38 minutes.
Fucking
And
hell.
Jens, you come back. You said this was going to happen, but it's 3-2 at half time. What a half of football you've missed.
Jesus Christ. I expect only boring games from now on.
Well, to give you a brief overlook of what you missed, it's been frantic. Placente scored his first goal on 3 minutes. Sigalko levelled up on 6. Montella went off injured, so Carew came on. Then DeVio scored. The Polish lad equalised on 29 minutes, and then Sigalko decided it's our turn to be ahead.
Yeah, it's a good half of football, isn't it? This is Super League, like Rob says in the chat.
Let's have a look at the home side stats. Steve, no, there'll be no question he will be in the redraft. Although technically, I say that, there will be a question about who is in the redraft, but that's to come. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Looking at the Dragon stats, unsurprising, Ciotis there rating a 6, but everyone else virtually proving why Dragons can dominate teams. Solid ratings from the outfield players.
Look at Big John Carew.
Just look
12 passes, 10 completed, not done anything else.
He got an
and
assist.
Goes in the locker room with an 8 rating. He did. Yeah, I'm watching on my phone, so it's small. Yeah, he probably headed the ball down to Gotto, didn't he?
I would imagine
so.
Duggan saying, as is for us, Fifey, please. No worries. Alf predicting his keeper's got another 5. No, it's a 6. But your centre-backs are both rating 5s. Clearly struggling with Sigalko and now Carew up there. Redraft confirmed. Yes, it's not a slip. Everyone knows that it's a redraft next season. It's no secret. Who was it that said it? Was it Ian on Thursday as well, saying, is that a breaking news? No, we know that this is the last season of this save. Anyway, the centre-back struggle.
Alf is a complete goalkeeper legend, isn't he? I remember I tried to sign a goalkeeper from him after the initial draft. I sent him a message and I said, look, I don't remember who it was. I said, look, I want your goalkeeper. Do I have anything you want in return? And he just replied with, you don't want a goalkeeper. You have Isaksson. So if you look at CM Scout or whatever program is using, this Isaksson, Swedish young bastard, is probably really good.
Well, maybe Alf will get him next time round and we'll see if he gets played then. Are you expecting Alf to make any changes looking at these stats? I mean, the centre-backs are struggling, but he hasn't got a natural centre-back on the bench to replace them with.
He's saying he's going to swap the position of the centre-backs, swap them around.
Just mark a different striker each, see if you fare any better.
Yeah, don't know if that's going to help. I don't know why he doesn't play Sorin. I don't know if you can click on him if he's declined or something, but I think his quality, it looks good in my eyes.
He's been a regular fixture within the team every year up until this. He's made 6 appearances, but he's had 2 assists in those 6 appearances. But yeah, his game time slowly diminished season on season.
Yeah, I remember it was class for Loco, and I think I always tried to buy him on a home save. I think it's really good. But Steve Finn can also be really good, so that's probably the reason why he's not playing, isn't it?
A couple of Steve Finnan fans in the Super League, that's for sure. Let's kick off the second half and go towards 60, see if these goals are to continue. Sorin and Sally are both proven Super League wing-backs, says Tater. We're at 65 minutes. There's been no additional goals up to this point. Let's see if the managers are looking to change anything here. Evening Swanee, who's joined in the chat. Hope everything's well at home and everyone's feeling a bit better now, and you're managing to get some sleep. I fully expect Duggan to keep this as is. I don't think he's going to risk upsetting the apple cart here. There's no fitness concerns. There's no disciplinary concerns for him to worry about.
No, it's not very much interesting on the bench either. Probably Ortega or something, but no, I expect the assist.
Well, no, he is changing it. And he's going completely anti-Dragons product by trying to stiffen it up by bringing Lezans on for Riquelme and dropping the arrow. So he's making a defensive substitution. I didn't think that was in his DNA.
Greavesy will be pleased with this. The boring bastard.
As for Astor, they still find themselves a goal behind. Brown's rating has improved from a 5 to a 6 since swapping sides and therefore opponent. What do you see Alf doing? I mean, is Freddie Ljungberg the answer? Maybe Louis Zhao?
I think I chugged both Sorin and Ljungberg on.
Okay.
I didn't see the ratings. I'm watching on by habit. I'm watching on TV, and the TV is like 20 seconds behind my phone, and the game text on my phone is a bit laggy, so it's I'm not following 100%.
No, that's absolutely fine. Maybe
bring the wing backs off and put Ljungberg and Sorin in for them. I would do try and freshen it up.
And what about Louis Zhao?
He's shite. That's why I loaned him out.
He's got 1 goal and 2 assists in his 5 starts since going out on loan.
Maybe Alf's got that's just Alf's old magic. Magic
Alf's
tricks.
Confirmed who's coming on, but is he trying to play with 13 men, or he's not? He's confirmed who's coming off to just throw everyone on. Let's see if 13 men can score against the Dragons.
Maybe he leaves it up to you.
Yeah. Oh, in which case, where's Brown and Taribo West coming off? Here we go. Wait, hang on. So Louis Zhao's coming on for DeVio, which surprises me a little bit. Alf, who's Sorin and Ljungberg coming on for?
DeVio?
I'm gonna guess Steve Finnan, maybe for Sorin.
Probably Salihamidzic for big Freddie Ljungberg as well, don't you think? Maybe
for Emre?
Possibly. Could Ljungberg play centrally though? I don't know. Come on, Alf.
Come on, Alf.
For fuck's sake.
Everyone's waiting for you, Alf. The wing backs. There we go.
Yeah.
So basically what you said. You could have just done this.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the wrong way around, isn't it, as well? Fucking hell. No, I'm at it. There we go. So we've got Sorin for Finnan, Ljungberg for Salihamidzic, and Louis Zhao on for DeVio. And Duggan made his 1 defensive change as well. Let's see how that mixes things up for the last 25 minutes. Oh, and there was a header for Astor. That might have been their chance. Baumer coming forward now. Grizzly say, sorry, I fell asleep. The sub's made yet. And it's Sigalko. He goes down, a free kick awarded. Deflects off the wall. Baumer to Dyer. Sigalko. Still Sigalko. Good save. Dragons withhold possession now. Moving towards injury time. And it's Sorin. Offside by Emre. 3 minutes being added on. Is there one more chance in this? Possibly. Emre. Brown picks it up. Placente. Rossini. Oh, but he's put it wide. Why is there one last chance? And on the counter-attack. Free kick to Dragons. Full-time whistle goes. No time to take it. And the Dragons pick up the crucial 3-2 win. It looked, I don't know if you thought it too, Jens, but it looked like Aston might have been having more injury time limbs.
Yeah, I was closely paying attention until Islamic All Stars put out the message in the chat.
Well, fair play to both sides.
That's a massive result, isn't it?
Absolutely. Duggan there saying still alive, just.
Yeah, exactly. For Dragons, they can still have a hope of making it. For Alf, I think it's possibly over.
Yeah, well, again, he's saying there, I can have some fun with the team now. But it certainly was an exciting start to tonight's Super League show. Sigalko, unsurprisingly, getting man of the match for his winning goal performance. 2 on the night out of the 3. But just, as we were saying at half-time, solid ratings throughout from everybody. Although I suppose you do have to question how John Carew has managed to play 80 minutes and not have a shot on goal.
Yeah, well, he's a big bastard. He's just up there wrestling with the defenders, isn't it? I think that credits to, I think it was Duggan who brought him into the league, that Polish lad, Simkowiak.
Yep.
It's been class. I agree, definitely has to be on a possible redraft. Riquelme, no one seems to get anything out of him. I've had a lot of fun with him in a home save, but again, home saves are completely different. But yeah, quality performance. He has to be happy with that. Sigalko on the score sheet twice. Only possible downside is Montella injury.
Having a look at the Astor stats, the subs came on and certainly tried their best to have an impact. You were very vocal about getting Sorin on the pitch, and maybe we'll see a bit more of him towards the end of the season. It wasn't a bad performance from Astor, just defensively they struggled a little bit tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's where they have to. Let's be fair to Alf. Astor still doesn't have one of the strongest squads in the league. It's not a Galactico side, so I think for them to pick up points, they have to rely on their defensive players doing well, and they didn't tonight, and that's cost them.
No, absolutely. But congratulations to Dragons, who pick up a valuable 3 points in game 1 of the night. The game really wants us to play Dudley Hill, but it's not to be. Let's go to Spartak Sloths against Churchtown next. Obviously, Churchtown, big influencers inside the top 6 at the minute, a team that you've already said are almost certainly going to finish in there again. They're up against Sloths and a man still chasing that 200 points mark this season. After losing to Fulchester on Thursday, he's still 4 points away from matching Maka at the 200 point mark. This is the team he goes with tonight. Big loss is Christian Kivu in the centre of defence. So we've got Richard's partner in Valgara and Patsazoglu in the holding midfield role. The rest of it's pretty much what has been playing for a little while now. Rakoba supporting Bizarro and Tolly. Your thoughts on the Sloths team?
I mean, I like to have a little bit of banter with Hodgie, seeing as he's been in the league for way longer than me and has won it the same amount of times as me, which is not something to brag about. And I also didn't like the club swap, as I had a deal with the Rob, the rat, to sign Pizarro, and that also fell true because of that. So I have
Pizarro
a lot of,
would be having a field day in your Halls team.
He would, I think. So, but I got CC Roberts, so it's not that bad. But to be fair to Hodge, I think that he probably knew that as well. But this squad it's not really good, is it? Pizarro is class. A couple of decent players surrounded. I mean, Patsatsuglu is good. Kivu is decent. But there's players in that 11 that probably shouldn't even be in the Super League. So he hasn't done fantastically well with them either, but probably done as expected with the players he has at his disposal, in my opinion.
Seeing how their form has been this year, do you worry that Hodgie may be going from a team that was expecting to win it to a team that's going to finish bottom?
Yeah, but I think, in all honesty, I think he expected that as well. I think he said that it wasn't fair to the league that he had the Devils team when he couldn't put enough time and effort into it. Don't know why he swapped it with a crazy chef from Somerset, because he's a maniac as well. But I don't think he expected to be very high up in the table with this team.
I think you're wrong. I think he expected to work miracles and, at least get into the playoffs, personally. Let's have a look at
if so, he's a big failure.
Let's have a look at the Churchtown team. And the big news, as we learned from last time out when they destroyed Leddersford 3-0 with a very, it was an even-looking game, but they were just ruthless in front of goal. Zambrotta's sending off on 26 minutes has had an impact, and it sees the return of Luke Chadwick on the right wing.
Yeah, Chadwick is pretty good in the game, isn't he?
And Dimble developed him a bit last year as well.
He did. We had I'm not very proud of that, because I was usually a kind boy as a child, but we had this kid that was a pain in the ass, and he wasn't the prettiest one. He looked like Luke Chadwick, so his name was just Chadwick. I'm not very good. But yeah, no, I think he's a good player for that formation. He's a system player for him, isn't he? He decided to play with wingers, and he brought in Volodenkov, Zambrotta, and he got Chadwick in, brought in Hersey now. So he got players that can play in those positions, and he's made that tactic work very well, even though he's changed it up a tad with bringing in Tony and playing both him and Hussein up front.
Do you think they'll work as a pair?
Yeah, I do, because they're kind of different players, with Tony being that big lump and Hussein being a little bit of everything. And with Dimble proving himself time and again that he knows what he's doing. So it's a solid core with good wingers and attacking threat, and they rarely concede a lot of goals. So I fully expect Churchtown to be in the top 6 when the season ends.
Interesting the point you make there about not conceding a lot of goals in this fixture, and obviously we know what Rob used to do with Sloths, and they were very entertaining, but there's been at least 4 goals in each of the last 4 fixtures between these two sides, so we could be in for another entertaining game here. Let's go to Match Centre then and ask for your score prediction, please.
Sorry, you fell out a bit. One more time.
Just a score prediction, please.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 2-1 Churchtown win.
2-1 to Churchtown. Doug Prentice in charge of this one. Churchtown starting very quickly, and same with the chance. And it's Luca Toni getting his first Churchtown goal to put the away side 1-0 up. Not quite the big equaliser. But there is one, and it's Pizarro on half an hour, who levels things up. Keeping on the track record from Thursday, and from 20 yards out, Pizarro's turned it round, and it's now 2-1 to the home side. What is going on at the moment? We've reached half time. Greasy booing, but at half time it is Spartak Sloths 2, Churchtown 1. Sloths scoring with their only 2 shots on goal, and it's that man again that we spoke about, Claudio Pizarro, doing the damage.
Yeah, it's just deadly, isn't he?
What a play.
Fully expect Churchtown to score a goal in the second half, though, with those stats. Looks like Churchtown been on top, but Pizarro's quality's been too much for them so far.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the individual stats. Nick Matulin picking up a 9 rating at half time for a string of fine saves. Pizarro continuing to lead by example. It's actually decent ratings throughout, with the exception of Rosicki, who's the only sort of average performance. This is how it feels to be Haggis, says Hodgie. But I think full credit to them. He's got a couple of options on the bench as well. Lamy has had mixed reviews, but he's had a decent season when called upon. He could come on and do a job as well. Risa's versatility has been used by Hodgie throughout the season, so there's definitely options there if he wants to change it up a little bit.
Definitely, I'm just looking at Recoba's 7 rating and Rosiski's 6 rating, and I can't understand why Recoba has a 7 and Rosiski has a 6.
Maybe there's something on this page that he's done differently.
Possibly, because Recoba hasn't done anything.
He's had an interception.
He's had an interception, okay.
And I'm enjoying Greasy's the CM gods looking down on the Tony deal. Hodgie's going same as. Let's have a look at Dimble's side and see how they're matching up. And it's a tale of the goalkeepers, isn't it? Because Oliver Kahn, compared to Nick Matulin's 9, rating a 6 for conceding both shots that have been taken at him.
Yeah, you would expect Kahn on the 6 or even a 5 with 2 shots on target going in. That Luca Toni deal is that's a little bit of a scandal, isn't it?
It's a poison chalice, that's what it is.
Loaning out last season's top scorer in the league. Well, that's a corruption alarm goes off. Not good. But the ratings are as expected, and with the match stats, I expect Churchtown to find a way back into this.
Well, Dimble is going as is as well. So let's kick off the second half and see what happens. Volodenkov goes in the book early in the second half. Luca Toni missing an opportunity. Pizarro missing the chance for a hat trick. And Harbuzi's been sent off on 58 minutes. Now a chance maybe for Sloths to look at this situation and maybe tweak it a little bit. I mean, there's no... Reese is the obvious substitution potentially there. Do you bring off Tolly? Do you bring off Recoba?
Possibly just centralize the Nilsson and put Tolly in behind Pizarro with Recoba.
Hodgie's saying leave it. He's not changing anything. He's not even straightening Danielson up. And Tato thinks he spotted a right hook from Harbuzi. Let's move forward. Dimble, do you want to change it now or do you want to wait till 60? If you could just confirm, please. I mean, we're on 57 minutes, so I'm only going to resume and then pause again anyway. But as is the rules, red card, you have the opportunity to change it if you so wish. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier, Fifey. I think that the new rules this season with the 60-minute sub and all the little tweaks with what we're allowed to do has been really working really well.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying and appreciating them.
Yeah, definitely credit to you for setting it up.
He's making his 60-minute subs already. Hang on. Agahawa for Mendes de Silva. Petrov to DM. Agahawa MC. Yep. Done. So we will just go and then pause it again. And now a chance for Sloths to make any changes on the 60-minute mark. It's such a shame for them here that they've got the red card, isn't it? Because they are under pressure, but they are still winning. I'll make a 60th.
I expect Tolly to go out here, possibly for Risa.
The other, do you know what? I kind of see Rosicky coming in here and maybe Lamy going out wide.
Yeah, that sounds logical.
Bit like this.
Yeah, definitely. I would do that. Sounds logical. That's why you're the champion, Fifey. That's why you won it back in your days.
Yes, I've now not been in the league as long as Hodgie and won it more times.
You have. Make sure to say that.
Lamy midfield right, Rosicky MC. Do you want an arrow on Recoba? Fucking hell, Dimble's already sending his in. I've not even clicked on Churchtown. He ain't messing about. He knows exactly what he's doing. Hodgie, do you want an arrow on Recoba or any of these centre midfielders? Or are you happy with it like this? I think Lamy's a very smart sub here. No, is the answer.
Yeah, I agree. It looks decent as well. 750 average in 10 games as well, so it's performed decent. 770 actually.
Is it lies? I don't think so. How many years you been in it now, Hodgie? You must have been. This is what, season 12, I think. You must have been in it for a good 8 of those now, surely. While he answers that, Petrov alongside Agahauer now. Tamazi Central. Is that what you want to do, Dimball? Or now you've seen the match ratings and the conditions, you'd like to see anything else? Could we see Hersey maybe coming on as an attacking option? I've done a year more. Okay. So you've done 7 years, Hodgie, because I left after season 8 when I won it, and I was there from the start. I started end of 4. So this is your 8th. Okay. You're claiming this is your 7th year. Fair enough. Let's resume the action. Still 2-1 to Slavs, who have a man less, of course. Yellow card, I believe, for Rosicky. 69 minutes on the clock. And we'll slow the commentary down as it's still... Oh, it is just over the bar. Are Slavs going to hold on here? There's almost certainly that 4th goal we were talking about in this fixture coming. Brujink lines it up. And Petrov, Rosicky. You don't round time up. Hussein's furious and eyeballs the referee. Oh no, it wasn't the referee. I'm not sure he was eyeballing there. Viali, Agahauer, Tony. Brujink was offside. 2 minutes being added on to this one. Tony offside again. He makes a career of being out offside. Hodgie claiming it on the basis of actual maths. Shut up, Ian. And Tony puts it wide. We're into injury time. Sloths hold on.
That's massive.
And wow, that's the first huge result for teams inside the top 6, as Sloths, who have been absolutely battered by Churchtown, but Churchtown failed to put the ball in the net. 2 of the longest unbeaten streaks gone already tonight. A huge result also for Sloths with their battle to avoid being bottom, Jens.
Yeah, definitely. Hodge will be extremely pleased with that. I don't think he cares if they were battered, as long as they win the game. Goalkeepers had a fantastic night, and decent ratings all over. It's Pizarro's quality that earns him the points, really. For Churchtown, it's a bit of a blow. I think it's a very interesting result in terms of the playoff chase, definitely.
Absolutely. That result there, coupled with the Dragons win, and even Duggan's now looking at that, thinking that's a fine result for us.
Exactly.
You mentioned obviously Pizarro's quality there. Nigmatuna getting man of the match for again the sheer volume of saves he was making. He's a funny one, isn't he? He seems to get good ratings, but then every now and then he is liable for a 6, a 5, a 4, even a 3 sometimes, and then he'll come back with 8s and 9s.
Yeah, but I think most goalkeepers in the Super League is like that. I like Nigmatulin. I think he's one of the better ones. I think it's possibly only is it Barthez and maybe Toldo that you can rely on for throughout the season. Okay. Every other goalkeeper will throw in a 5 and a 4 sometime. I have Costanzo myself and been a pain in my ass for 5 seasons now, but he's still a good goalkeeper. It's just that many of them will throw in a stinker when you really don't want it.
It was decent without being exceptional from an attacking perspective. Luca Toni seemed to be offside a lot, but it was defensively where Churchtown struggled. The scorer rating of 5. Oliver Kahn couldn't improve on his 6. Viali as well, who's been one of the more underrated centre-backs in my opinion throughout this whole save, having a poor game as well. And it was just a bad night at the office at a very bad time for Churchtown.
Yeah, it's not what he wanted, is it? I mean, looking at the shots, all the right players have had the shots on goal, just haven't been effective enough, and defensively not solid enough. So yeah, you can't say it's a well-deserved win for Slots with the amounts of chances that Churchtown had, but ultimately it comes down to the Slots goalkeeper and Pizarro tonight.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Hodgie. As we said, huge result at both ends of the table. We want to keep that one for later as well. So let's go to Gazelles versus Bostock Stanley. Gazelles in 12th, but at the start of the night, only 5 points below the dotted line. Bostock themselves in 9th, and one of the teams that you mentioned, if they can build that bit of momentum, you would fancy them to finish in the top 6. So again, similar to the Dragons Astor game, this is crucial for both sides, especially now seeing Churchtown drop points.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very important game for both sides. I'm going to go and grab 2 beers so I don't have to go
no worries
next
at all.
time. And then I'll be back in 1 minute.
Last time out there, Gazelles narrowly being pipped by Devils. They tweak it slightly for this game. They move one midfielder down into the holding positions, and the 2 wing backs go further forward and get long, rangy attacking arrows. For anyone who followed the team news segment earlier today, you would have seen that both Seedorf and Anelka have been criticised in the media, but the management duo of Martin and Dan keep faith. And also, one of the reasons for the tactical change will be the massive suspension of Zayaleus. So Smertin, Boateng, and Yakubu all forming a wall in front of Udeze and Terry. As for Bostock, as we saw earlier, drew 2-2, despite being down to 10 men for a long period of time at home to Astor. They keep the same narrow formation, make a couple of changes, live returns to the starting 11, as does Robbie Keane. I think that's it. It's just those 2. Oh, and obviously the goalkeeper changed as well. Efropoulos back in goal with their Polish-Australian goalkeeper making the bench for the first time this season.
I like that narrow formation.
Yeah,
big fan of that.
It will certainly be interesting to see how the narrow works against the defensively shaped Gazelles formation. A score prediction, please, Jens.
Partin Peterson versus Pot Paddler. I'm gonna go with I do think Bostock Stanley has it in them to go on a real run. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Bostock.
2-1 to Bostock. Anelka with an early chance inside 2 minutes for the home side. Zenden getting in the way of Torres there. Seedorf getting involved as well now for the home team. And both sides having attempts. Yellow card handed out. And Alex getting involved for the home side this time. Efropoulos makes a couple of decent saves. I think that was Seedorf going in the book this time. 41 minutes on the clock. There's been plenty of huff and puff by both sides, but no goals yet as we go into injury time in the first half. And there is the half-time whistle. 3 attempts apiece, Jens. Gazelles had all 3 on target, only 1 for Bostock, but neither side managing to break the deadlock yet.
No, it seems as if it's a battle in midfield, doesn't it? With Gazelles wingers not being good enough to exploit that wide areas where Bostock leaves open. I'm still expecting Bostock Stanley to win this.
Okay. Having a look at the home side then, Udeze, who is on a yellow card, and Boateng putting in fine performances. 2 of the attempts by Anelka, 1 by Seedorf. So again, chances falling to the right people, just not managing to convert as of yet. Scott saying carry on. Scott does this a lot. He doesn't even get to the point of looking at his stats. He just gets a feel for it by the text commentary. And before I've even clicked over, he's put carry on. So we'll just have the briefest of looks here. Torres just not seeing a lot of the ball is the main problem here.
Yeah, and the attacking players not having any attempts at goal except for 1 from Raul. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's going on in the second half. I do think Gazelles said Martin has done a couple of really good deals by getting getting Barthez and John Terry in especially. So that's
I'm not sure.
Made them a bit defensive, more defensive, solid.
I'm not sure we've seen Martin or Dan in the chat yet. I'll give them 20 more seconds just to confirm. If not, we'll play on till 60. But yeah, looking at this, I can see why you would still believe Bostock can get back into this, because if they can just find their shooting boots and get a few more of these on target and really start to challenge Barthez, they've certainly got enough quality there. With which
they got so many attacking players.
Yeah,
I mean, Raul, Torres, Jax, Ronaldinho.
Nothing from either the manager or assistants. We'll play until 60 and see if we can break the deadlock. And we have. And it's Anelka on 47 minutes who opens the scoring. And now we've got Lee Young-pyo getting injured. I mean, now they're losing. It might change things. Guigu's the obvious change here. But I could see Gonzalez maybe dropping back because of the attacking arrow and Kutuzov coming on maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I think I would just stuck Gugu in there, but
we'll prepare that one just in case.
Gonna see what it says.
But crucial goal again for the teams in and around the playoff hunt. Gazelles 1-0 up here, and it is Guigu coming on. So let's continue towards the 60-minute mark as Gazelles come forward again. Nelka with another opportunity. And we have reached the hour. Scott's sending through his subs already. A very, very quick look. Look at Udaisy's performance there, 9s. Alex struggling a little bit in midfield, but apart from that, it looks solid from Gazelles.
Yeah, it just looks way more solid now, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Very good team performance.
We will hold it on the screen for 20 seconds in case either of the manager or assistant are hovering in the background. Scott's already sent through his sub. Kutuzov for Keane is going to be the change there, so we can action that. A change that makes sense. I'm surprised maybe he's not swapped places with Gonzalez.
Yeah, I maybe thought that. I mean, this game is important for him. He shouldn't lose this, so I would have maybe thought that he would go 3 up top, but I don't know. I had Kutuzov myself. I brought him to Hulls because I like him in home save, but he never did anything but getting a 6 rating for me. So, but who knows? Scott might have a magic touch to make him perform.
So in answer to your question, Duggan, he got 20 goals and 7 assists in 51 starts and 3 sub appearances while at Bostock Stanley. Now he has potentially scored the winning goal against Bostock. Did I make the change? Yes.
Anelka's been good in the save, hasn't he? Since he left Wolves.
We carry on with Gazelles still leading. We're at 70 minutes now. And it's still Gazelles looking like they're the ones coming forward. Smertin goes in the book. Anelka struggling on his own to retain possession. It would seem 1 goal in it will slow the commentary down. Ronaldinho to take the free kick to flex off the wall. Barthez sends it forward into the final 10. What a result this could be for Gazelles as their silent pursuit of the top 6 continues. Bostock win a corner. And now Raul on the ball, but Sadolf gets there. Live and Welsh combine. Guigu skips past the challenge, and Torres. Barthez saves it, and it goes out for another corner, which Terry heads clear. 5 minutes plus injury time to go now. As Yakubu gets it to Anelka. Free kick awarded, 3 minutes to be added on. We're into those 3 minutes now. It's Boateng, and it gets out wide to Zenden. Sadolf picks it up. Oh, and the opportunity goes wide. One last chance maybe for Anelka. Flags up, yellow card handed out. There's the full-time whistle and another massive result. Gazelles hold on to beat Bostock Stanley 1-0. Again, it was an even game, wasn't it? It was a tactical battle. It was like a chess match, but Gazelles did just about enough to thwart Bostock Stanley from claiming any points tonight.
Definitely, and they've done what taking over that squad, getting in a striker that can score goals and just tightening up defensively has gotten them a lot more points than most would think that they would have.
They were widely tipped to finish bottom, to be fair.
Yeah, and the squad on paper isn't really strong either. So they've, definitely hands down done a good job.
Anelka, one of the two criticised in the media during the week, gets the winning goal and a 9 out of 10 rating. Seedorf puts in a decent performance. His attitude question as well. But you got 9s there for George Boateng. Got a 9 there for John Terry, Barthez Daisy. We've seen a couple of teams already tonight struggle defensively, but that certainly wasn't the case for Gazelles. It was a strong defensive performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's two brilliant centre backs and a very, very good goalkeeper, just doing their thing. So yeah, very impressive.
Absolutely. As for Bostock, they tried, but it just wasn't to be for them tonight. You mentioned Kutuzov only gets 6 ratings. That continued with his sub appearance tonight. 8s was the best they could muster, and they were from defensive-based players as well. So just not quite enough in attack, despite your claims that they have a lot of good attacking players tonight.
No, they probably struggle a little bit with putting them in the right positions. I think possibly John Welsh has been a little harsh done by looking at his stats. He's been very involved, but all in all, he can't be happy with that. It puts him in a worse position than he was earlier tonight, and yeah, he's still in with a shout, but it's going to be a struggle to get in the top 6, I think.
I seem to have been saying all the way along this season that Bostock's form in particular has been erratic all over the place. They just cannot get that consistency, and that continues again here. But congratulations to Gazelles on what's a huge 3 points for them. Let's move on, and we've got Northern Bern against Locomotive Boston. This was one that I said could be a tactical battle as well. One that I'm very much looking forward to, especially with Bern seeing how other sides close to them in the league table have already done tonight. One change for them, Cannavaro returns to partner Nowotny in defence, with Okoronkwo out injured for this one. Other than that, it's unchanged. It does look very Bern-esque again, doesn't it? And look at Totti and Aymar in centre midfield.
Yeah, it does. Roy Keane still has legs, so he can afford to play 2 attacking midfielders in front of him. Sander Westerveld put in a performance I've never seen in the Super League from a goalkeeper ever before against us. So obviously I hate him now.
that was a hell of a. I remember, yes, he faced something stupid like 20 odd shots, didn't he?
Yeah, it was completely crazy. Look at that.
But he's still keeping Toldo out of the team because his form. He's had maybe one average game. 10-7, 8-8-8 his last 5 or all 5 of his performances.
Look at that 5. He's on an 820 average rating after 5 games. You can't ask for anything else, can you? It's been class.
Absolute class. Let's have a look at what Greavesy has served up for this one then, and it's game time, according to Loco, and they go with something very similar to what Gazelles just won with. So they're clearly looking to stifle the opposition. He'll claim it's attacking because all 4 of these midfielders have forward arrows. But he's got Petit back in. Ramelow makes his first appearance of the season. Makalagali's in there as well. Interesting that Plombe has one. He's suspended, so it'll be interesting to see if he comes back in, if they manage to keep a clean sheet tonight.
Yeah, I think Plombe has been really, really good, so he'll probably come back. But this just boring, isn't it? It just reeks of boring.
Just reeks of boring.
Almost like it's my wife has no interest in this, and she's mostly irritated when I sit up late talking and having TV loud on and drinking beer to watch a 20-year-old game. But she's understood one thing, and that's that Loco is finished.
Finnish club,
and they'll end up outside of the top 6 this season. Definitely.
Are you going on record with that? Are you?
Definitely. They brought in. I mean, Hernan Crespo is washed. I squeezed all of his juice out, and now he's got nothing more to deliver. And he took him. He just took him.
I
got Van Bommel for him. He's going to deliver.
Greavesy has sent you a little retort. So while you read that, I will go to Game Centre and I will say, can I have a prediction, please, for Northern Burn against Locomotive Boston?
0-0.
0-0 is the prediction. That sounds like Jens on comm, says Macca. That's because it is Macca. You missed goals, Ian. 25 minutes on the clock. There's been no goals yet in this one. I've seen Kluivert's name. Westerveld makes a couple of saves. Crespo there with an opportunity as well. Ramelow getting involved. This first half's flown by in comparison to all the others, and it is 0-0. Not much to discuss there, Jens.
So boring. And I know you sent, that's not what she tells me, Jens, says Greavesy. And she got a message from some Locomotive Boston. She asked me, what is it? Because you obviously tried to telling her something, but she couldn't understand a word you wrote.
Crucially, Boyd McGregor in charge of this one, and he's one of those referees who doesn't mind being in the limelight. Let's have a look at Northern Burn. Much like the game, those ratings are quite boring. I mean, they're fairly decent, I suppose. 7s throughout, with the exception of Robin. Ian already saying as is, but just not a lot going on there, is there?
No, it's Loco. I mean, as boring as it is, and as much as we like to banter Mr. Greaves, he knows how to shut the opposition down, and that's exactly what's happening here.
A lot more 6s in evident here for the Loco team. Ramelow, however, as we said, making his first appearance of the season, and he's clearly out to make an impression.
Yeah, possibly, but I don't think Greavesy looks at the ratings per se. I think he looks at the tackling and tackling one. I think that's what's most important to him. And these players are throwing themselves to the ground, and he'll be happy with that.
Well, I don't want to upset you, Jens, but both managers going as is, so nothing's going to change anytime soon.
No, so 0-0 incoming.
Another yellow card handed out there, 55 now on the clock. And they want a penalty. Oh, fucking hell, all the time went past. But Burn wanted a penalty. Boyd McGregor said no, and then we lost about 12 minutes where literally nothing happened. So we're on 79 minutes on the clock. I don't know if you're a condition man, Jens, but would you be looking at Ashley Cole or Novotny there, thinking I might just need to freshen them up?
Not with 10 minutes left, and on that condition, I wouldn't bother. No.
Okay, fair enough. Ian again saying as is. Let's have a look at Loco. Ratings have certainly improved in this second half, although Scholl's still struggling to have any sort of dominance in the centre of midfield. Do you see
Clayton? Yeah, get Clayton Sane on. The Lillestrøm legend. He banged in goals in the Norwegian league 20 years ago. Get him in.
Go 2 up top? That's very anti-Greavesy if he goes 2 up top.
He brought him into the league, so let him have his chance. Zane for Crespo.
Wait, he's... Casano doesn't even play for you. What? Hang on. What's he on about? You've not got Casano
Zane
on the bench,
for Crespo. He's doing it. Zane for Crespo. Look, get Big Clayton in. Lillestrøm legend.
Right, okay. So, Zane for Crespo, Dalmat for Scholes. There we go. Ron, what's the best insult you can think of for PRG's brand of football? That formation is horrible, says Rob. Let's see if this last 10 minutes can be freshened up with those substitutes now that Greavesy's remembered who he actually put on the bench. Well, we lost another 6 minutes with nothing happening, but Ramelow chips it forward and Zanoni is looking to play with Zane. Absolutely fuck all happening in this game. Free kick to... Are we going to get some injury time? Veron? Zane? Oh, it's saved by Westerveld. All the action is in injury time. Free kick, Veron. Westerveld with another save, and it's a corner. No time to take it. All the excitement was in 90 plus minutes.
There's just nowhere else you could say you see Clayton Sane going up on a header against Fabio Cannavaro, is it?
No, absolutely not. This game finishes quite well. I say quite predictably. You did literally say this would finish 0-0.
Yeah, I always tip that in the local game, and I'm not surprised it happened either.
I've just seen Rob's reply. Tater, yes, I think that perfectly sums up this game. Sander Westerveld again. Ian was worried that our praise of him in the build-up was going to see him get a 5. It's actually worked the other way, and he's had another exceptional game tonight.
What a player!
What a
Big
player!
Sander. I remember wasn't it him that went up to Francis Jeffers' face in the Merseyside derby like years ago? I think so. I'm a bit drunk now, so it might be wrong, but I think he was
to be
like
fair, mate,
bit slapping Francis Jeffers there.
I'll trust your knowledge on that one. My knowledge of Merseyside derbies is not up there with a lot of the other guys within the chat.
Right.
I'm afraid. The only thing I can really tell you about Liverpool is that Salah signed a new contract, and there were a lot of Liverpool replica kits in the sale rack today when I took Aiden shopping. They clearly over-ordered for the amount of Liverpool fans in Leicester, is all I can say about that. Stefan Klos came in for this game, and because Peruzzi's form's been a bit erratic, and did okay. There's a few 8s dotted around, particularly Makaleli, Ramelow, so Greaves will be pleased with that. And ultimately, he'll be pleased to have restricted Burn to 2 shots. This is almost perfect for him, isn't it? Just not scoring was the problem.
A same goal in the 90th minute would have made it completely perfect. But look, 23 tackles, Ramelow and Petit in between. They're just doing what the manager tells them to do. Just go out there and destroy the opposition. Absolutely. And that's what he's done. And he got the point he wanted. So he'll be happy.
Again, though, having seen some of the earlier results, that could prove to be a crucial point for Loco.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for him was not to lose, and that's why I put the boring tactic he did.
So we're saving that one. We're saving that one, which means we're going to Leddersford against Devils. Leddersford have been playing a Devils tribute formation of late. They choose the game against the Devils to change it, and Devils also choose this game to change it a little bit as well. We have Zauri starts for, I believe, well, it's definitely the first time in ages, for just the 6th time this season. He starts at left wing back with Van Bronckhorst getting a place just on the bench. Ayala chosen to partner Nesta instead of Montero, who's also on the bench. But this is a strong looking Devils 11, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Every Devils 11 looks strong, doesn't it? But very, very big fan of Rob taking over the Galacticos Devils and deciding that I'm not going to do it the easy way. I'm not going to play Zauri. I'm going to sell Aymar, and I'm going to use Richie Wellens, and I'm going to do this and that. And yeah, big fan of it. Big fan of Rob.
Hodgie thinks Westerveld may have grabbed his face. It was a nailed-on pen, by the way, bloody Uncle Boy.
I think that's correct why you say it. I think he didn't slap him. He was just up in his face. I think that's correct.
Leddersford with just 1 win in 9 against their opposition tonight. And these games tend to have something to nil as well, looking at that history. So first goal scorer is crucial. Let's have a look at the Leddersford team then. And interestingly, and perhaps frustratingly, and it will become a bit more clear in a little while as to why, but Rayed's still away on international duty with Ipswich, with Egypt. So he's unavailable for this one. Here's the formation, and we've gone back to the fancy backwards arrow.
Yeah, I like it. Tato's big fan of him as well, testing out different things and not playing the usual paint by numbers tactics. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I do think that Rob's put out possibly the strongest team he could tonight. So I would tip the Devils to win it, but this is also a strong squad, the strong team. So anything can definitely happen. 2 solid wings, Scallion and the eye in the middle. So yeah.
So I'm gonna make you get off the fence now and actually pick a score, please.
going to go with a 2-1 Devils win.
Okay. If Fifey's announcement is a mad bonus transfer, Constantinu is coming home. Disgrace, says Duggan. Yes, don't forget, at the end of tonight's action, there is the Game Week 19 update. There'll be a 19 update, a 20 update, and a 26. I keep thinking it's a 24 game season. A 19, a 20, and a 26 game week update for everyone. To do with the end of this season and the future of the Super League at the end of this season. But let's kick this one off.
I'm just having a piss. Sorry.
Yes, you do that, and we'll kick this one off. And Thierry Henry scores in 6 minutes to give the Devils the lead. Crucial game again in the playoff hunt, this one. Every game seems to have permutations, that's for sure. You can fuck off, Duggan. You swapped the guy I wanted for someone shite. Vieira goes into the book on half an hour. Still, Devils come forward. They just would have enough firepower to get back in this, that's for sure. Need a win here, says Rob, because you fannied around on shaking on a deal. You two keep arguing it out, that's fine. We've reached half time in this one, and both sides created 3 shots on goal. Devils scoring one of the 2 they got on target. Ledesford only getting 1 on target and failing to convert. Fans of both would have me back, no doubt about it. But you have managed just about every club in the Super League, Hodgie. So, most, and you are the second most successful statistically on points gained. So, of course, most clubs would have you back. Having a look at the Ledesford stats, Hodgie, the history books don't have you down as a Devils manager. Rob Burnham. As is until 60, says Rob, without even seeing his stats. Jens is back in the studio. It's half-time, Jens. It's 1-0 to the Devils. Both sides created a few chances, but nothing spectacular.
No, it doesn't look really spectacular, does it? I brought my 3 last beers now, so if my bladder holds up, I won't have to go away anymore. So that's good. No, it doesn't look really spectacular. Who scored the goal? Was it Henry?
Henry on 6 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Galletti.
Yeah, at least.
Galletti coming off for Constantinu, and the backwards arrow's gone. So 3 out-and-out strikers up the top there now for Ledesford. Fulchester wouldn't have him. Well, he's not had any sort of tenure at Fulchester yet. Maybe he would have a star at Fulchester. You never know.
I'm not sure if it works, but I'm not a big fan of playing 3 big lumps up front at the same time, but let's see.
Rob's already said, as is till 60, so just a very quick look at how their side are performing, and it's very much a mixed bag. A couple of 8s in there, partnered with a couple of 6s, mostly 7s throughout. Is Jens literally pouring these beers down his neck consecutively? Yes, he is. He's basically doing it in the half, and I'm trying to fill enough time when the whistle goes for him to swallow his last dregs before I ask him a question. So let's kick off the second half and see if we get a bit more excitement now with the 3 out-and-out strikers up there for Ledesford. And it's certainly the home side looking to create and score. But the thing is, Devils have that much quality. They only need 1 chance, really. 56 now on the clock. Another yellow card. Vieira was involved. Fucking hell, and all the 60. It's been loads of text, and as soon as 60 comes, nothing happens. 69 on the clock as we pause for the tactics break. Spartak Devilsford Celtic. I mean, Gallardo is an attacking change. Maybe for one of these holding midfielders, perhaps.
Possibly. Vieri's, I think Vieri's stats fell off a lot. It's probably a bit too old. But I don't see any point in taking him off now. I would probably go for it and just put Gallardo on for one of the central midfielders, yeah.
Okay, so hang on. We want arrows on these. Etzeburi is going on top in place of Vieri. Vieri's being swapped for Gallardo. Okay.
All right.
Arrows there. Him up front. Yeah. So interestingly, needing a goal and bringing Vieri off. It's just not happening for him, is it?
No, I think his stats fell off a bit, and he's not been the best in this save, has he? He had a couple of good, maybe had a good run at slots, I think, and that's basically it.
Vieira dominating in midfield with his 9 rating there. Couple of yellow cards in key areas, potentially a concern, although Rob's never been one to care too much about playing with 10 or even 9 men, has he?
Probably go as this one. No, he won't. He'll take Kessman up for Eto'o and Henri Eto'o as AMCs. So it's going a bit more defensively, isn't it?
Rob in defensive change shocker. It's a bit sort of Northern Burn this now, isn't it?
It's a bit disappointing, to be honest, but who am I to complain about what Rob does?
Let's go. We've got 20 minutes left to go. Just one in this. We'll leave the commentary speed on fast now. Both sides making the changes. Let's see if either have a massive impact. Tato's unbeaten home record being humped here, unfortunately. Soroczynski and Vieira. And Soroczynski again, he's tricked by Ndai, who's the latest man to go in the referee's notebook. 79 now on the clock. Scally loses out in midfield. Vieira has it now. But an easy save for the goalkeeper, who is another that the media has questioned this week. Say Roberto Constantinou. Scally picks it up. Frey with a fine save. If Neil Scally, of all people, looking to be the hero. Barry Ferguson now picks it up. Another good save, and it's a corner to the away side, which Fredo heads clear. 85 on the clock. And Dye picks up a Van Nistelrooy. 4 minutes to be added on. I still feel there's one more goal in this yet, but I'm not sure who to. Another yellow card. Zé Roberto to take the free kick. Constantinou picks it up. And they want a penalty. The flag's up. It is a penalty. And it's Constantinou to take it. Let's slow this right down. Is he going to score? He has scored. It's 1-1 in the 88th minute. Constantinou with the penalty. And what a crucial goal that is. And suddenly, if Dragons were to want him back, that's going to cost considerably more pound signs. Full-time whistle goes, Jens, and the perfect result for just about everybody else.
Yeah, that's the best result we could hope for. I don't know. It's hard to watch the text because it's a bit lagging on the phone, on the Zoom. So it's hard for me to tell how the second half went. But obviously, Rob will feel hard done by conceding so late in the game.
Well, let's just go back to the penalty incident. Zé Roberto lost the ball to Boya, but Scally picked it up. He put it into the 6-yard box, and Petkov was fouled in the air by Soroczynski. The referee had given no hesitation. Felt and deserved that, Rob. Well played, says Tato. Led's best striker by a mile, says Duggan, as Constantinou scored the penalty. Match stats, very even games to a draw, probably the right result.
Yeah, it looks like that. 2 solid playoff chasing teams sharing the points. That's nice for the rest of us, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Entertaining game, very even if you look at passes, tackles not too dissimilar. Even the headers, there's very, very little margin between the two sides looking at this. And Dye picking up man of the match for his 9 rating tonight. We saw Taibbi's name with a couple of crucial saves from the likes of Ferguson tipping over the bar. Few 6s further forward, which will be a bit of a frustration though.
Yeah, but the man he brought in scored a goal. So he'll know he has to start him next time. How did Sauri do for the Devils?
How did who do, sorry?
Sauri.
Well, we're just clicking O now. So Zawi got a 7 rating as well. He did go in the book alongside Ayala, Ferguson, and Vieira. Edsbury is for sale, says Tato. Devils are starting to look better again, aren't they?
Yeah, I think. I do think Rob is a proud man and he's gonna stick to his guns. But looking at that team, I don't think it's too much. You need to change a couple of tweaks and a couple of players in, and it's still probably the best side in the league.
And Penza now got 3 in 17 starts.
Yeah, so Rob destroyed him. Congratulations. That's the Hull scores. All strikers coming to Hulls is equally as shite as that.
But 1-1 it is here in this game. So congrats to both sides on picking up a point.
Tato wants a trophy for being unbeaten at home.
Got to be a trophy for that. Let's move on to the penultimate game, which is the top 2 going head to head. Haggis Hunters at home to Fulchester. And Haggis go unchanged from the side that beat Loco 3-1 on Thursday night. And we've got this impressive trio of Kesas Viduka supported by Del Piero. The midfield, which is getting a lot of plaudits this year. And then the main man, Jan Jeremy's in that sole DM position.
Yeah, he stumbled, and he's been wise to stick with it throughout. That centre-back pairing is absolutely top quality. Jeremy's, as a sole DMC, can tackle and run as much as he pleases. No one there to take the tackles away from him. And the rest of the team is just clicking. So it's been a very impressive season from Haggis so far. And even though Mr. Campbell wants praise in the Super League chat every single day, I don't think anyone doesn't praise him, to be honest. So you should just concentrate on doing the business. Season isn't over yet.
Fulchester have an outstanding record against Haggis, though.
Yeah, but it's the Manchester philosopher. It's the Aristotle of Manchester. You can't compare yourself to him. The man is a genius.
Unsurprisingly, they go unchanged from the 4-1 win over Sloss, which means Buffon continues now that he's back in goal. John Curtis, who's been playing well the last couple of games, continues to partner Lucio, but Gattuso, Van der Vaart playing centrally with Nedved and Beckham wide. And then the 3 that are just starting to tick over and just starting to score a few goals a bit more regularly, Trezeguet and Comandini either side of Shevchenko.
Yeah, it's what he's been playing, isn't it? No need to change what's been working. It's a solid, good team. I'm very excited for this one. I think it's going to be, for the neutrals, it's going to be a great one. The 2 best sides in the league battling it out.
Well, for the last time tonight, I ask you for a score prediction then, please, Jens.
I'm going to say 1-1 here.
1-1 is the prediction. Let's see if you are correct. Haggis started quite quickly there with both Viduka and Kesas getting involved. Viduka scores on 19 minutes to give Haggis the lead, and almost a quick second for him there as well. Both teams playing in their blue. Comandini, with his 5th of the season, levels things up on 32 minutes, approaching half-time already. Plenty of opportunities later on. Haggis score. Viduka has been ruled out. He was offside. Mike Duff get involved. And there's Kesas on the stroke of half-time. And it's 2-1 to the home side on the whistle. Look at this from Haggis. 8 attempts on goal.
Yeah, they've been dominant. And how the fuck is Kesas is... I've had Kesas many times because his stats look decent, but why is he banging in goals like for fun? What's he doing with him?
Well, he's certainly doing something. That's his 9th of the season.
Impressive.
Very, very impressive. Tato say the line, says he. Let's have a look at the Haggis stats. Viduka, we did see his name quite a bit in the text. A very impressive first half by him as well, although he was offside for what would have been their second goal.
Yeah, and it's still only 7s on the defensive players, who always rates high at the end of the game. So you can expect them to go up. Looks good. Looks good for Haggis.
It does indeed. Interesting to know how he's feeling at this stage about making changes and stuff. He will be a worried man, even though he is winning. Let's have a look at Fulchester and see what's happening with them. Nicky Butt continues to be the star man, but look at Gattuso struggling in centre midfield and a low number of passes for a lot of these players as well.
Yeah, it looks almost a little bit like they're playing direct style. I don't know. It's actually a interesting comment from Maka there, because both these teams are so far ahead points-wise on the table from everyone else that it's possibly not the worst thing to lose this game.
No, both managers have said that.
You'd rather prefer to finish second than first. All the evidence tells you that you have a bigger shot at the title as second. But yeah.
Both managers keeping it as is till 60. So let's kick off and see what is next in this enthralling Ferguson versus Keegan battle we've got in front of us. Nearly a quick fire goal again by Haggis, who seems to be completely dominating this game at the moment. What have Fulchester got about them to get themselves back into it? A yellow card handed out. We reach an hour mark, and Haggis have a free kick in an attacking situation. They're looking very, very, very good tonight, aren't they, Jens?
Yeah, it's the stats we've become used to see from Haggis this season.
Del Piero may be concerned at 79% with half an hour still to play.
Yeah, but he doesn't really have anything to put on for him, does he? And you'd risk on a 2-1 lead. You'd risk putting Zidane in. No, I wouldn't.
Well, the answer to that.
I don't know why. Why is Zidane? Why is he there? Who did?
He's on loan. He's on loan from Dragons.
He's on loan. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Dragons signed him, gave him a couple of attempts, realised what everyone else before him had realised, and sent him out on loan to Haggis, who haven't actually let him play yet.
Yeah, but he's shite.
Ian's saying just roll. Let's have a look at Fulchester then and see what can Maka do to change this and get his side back into the game. It's just very...
Expect him to put Castillo on for Trezeguet, possibly, to freshen things up.
Maybe play two with one in behind is a favourite move of his as well.
Yeah, you could possibly drop Shevchenko down, or you could put Castillo in that AMC.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see. I don't know if he has internet. He said he's some trouble with internet.
Yeah, I saw he's... I'm giving him a little bit longer because he did mention that he's not got great signal, but he has been commenting. Here we go. So, Castillo for Trez. Okay.
Yo.
Indeed. Still free as, I think that's supposed to be shape. So there is the change. And let's see.
He's out on the bus, isn't he?
Let's see if Castillo can have an impact. Still one goal in this massive top of the table crash. Oh, there's a 2-goal cushion. Viduka has scored and surely clinches the win for Haggis. The party will be starting in Edinburgh, that's for sure. Gattuso is sent off. Gattuso. He really has had a poor night here. I think Macca's...
I'll tell you that, Mr. Campbell, if you end up winning this thing, then you book an open bus parade on the 11th of November when I go over to Edinburgh. That would be stuff of legends.
It would be certainly a party I'd be interested in attending, that's for sure.
Bringing a dozen of Norwegian guys over to Edinburgh for the weekend and being met with a local man celebrating alone on a party bus through the streets would be absolutely amazing.
I've often wondered about these party buses. I've only ever actually seen one in person once in London, and they seem to be on a Hindu, and it just seemed bizarre that they were just being driven around London on this bus. I didn't really... It just was weird.
I mean, if you win the Super League, it's not so bizarre, is it? I mean, you have to celebrate it.
Right. Drop Sheva. Quaresma, right? Who's he coming on for?
I'll watch. I'll probably watch Hibbs out to irritate Ian.
Right. So Beckham's going to centre mid. We've got that much. Does he mean Shevchenko's being the one coming off? Maybe for Quaresma.
Drop Sheva, yeah, has to be.
Insufferable Campbell finishing top and it meaning nothing will be justice, says Steve. I think this is how Maka wants to play it. I appreciate you got poor signal. Maybe if you can just confirm that this is what you mean.
I think that's what it means. Yeah. Drop Sheva.
Just don't want to click continue if he meant drop Sheva into the hole and have someone else out here. So we'll give him 20 seconds. If not, we'll carry on as this is because it looks to be right, as you say.
Yeah, and it's game's over, isn't it? It's 10 men, 2 goals down with 10 minutes left.
This is Fulchester.
Yeah, it is. But if you ask him, he's gonna be the first one to say it's over.
And Ian, you do have the opportunity to change things around if you so wish with 10 minutes to play. If you can just let me know, mate. I imagine you'll say carry on as is. Fulchester have just been a bit hot and cold recently, haven't they? They seem to be sort of win one, lose one.
Yeah, but if you win one, lose one in the position they're in, then you'll finish top 2.
Let's play out these final 10 minutes then and go towards the main event fixture. Oh, for fuck's sake. Del Piero's gone off injured in injury time. It's got to be Zidane, surely. Even Zidane can't fuck this up.
No, get him on. Big lad.
I mean, he could put Santa Cruz on, I suppose, but it would seem almost pointless at this stage. In the flat.
Come on, Ian.
Yeah, don't forget the Wi-Fi in Edinburgh is not the quickest either. We got Maka on the bus, Ian in Edinburgh, and Alf. It was always going to be slow. Do whatever you want. Okay. You took that long to say that. There we go. Full time and Haggis win. And not only do they win, they absolutely dominate.
Yeah, that's a statement, isn't it?
Yeah, I said the win over Loco was a statement, but this is an even bigger statement that Haggis really are on course to potentially claim top place and the easiest possible route to the Super League Grand Final. Viduka getting man of the match for a 10 out of 10. He's called it pleasing in the chat. Kesas another 9. We've got 8s there for Giggs and for Jeremy's. It just looks solid, doesn't it?
Yeah, and let me just go on record and say, Ian Campbell, Haggis Hunters has been really, really good this season. Well done. So now you don't have to spend the whole of next week sending us messages asking for approval or for whatever the English word for it is.
Fulchester, for the most part, it wasn't awful. It just wasn't their usual high standards. I mean, Gattuso, his rating dropped to a 4 by the end because of his red card on top of his awful performance. You can't really look at Quaresma. He didn't have any time on the pitch to really get involved. Buffon with a 6, which surprises me a little bit because they had a lot of attempts at him. And yes, he conceded 3, but he did save quite a few as well.
Yeah, it seems like they weren't really in the game. Low amount of passes, no players except the obvious one, Mickey Butt, really performing. I think Haggis this season is so strong that if you're going to have a hope to get something out of the game with them, your players have to deliver really high standard, and they didn't today. I don't think you'll be very bothered though. They're still way clear of the rest, and they'll finish top 2, probably second, and that's probably what he wants as well. So, yeah.
Congratulations, though, to Haggis on a massive, potentially season-defining victory there. We conclude then with yourself away at Dudley Hill. And Dudley Hill goes with the come back to what you know formation. So obviously a tactic that won them the Super League. We've got Addo makes his way back into the starting 11. Your old boy Vogel starts in centre midfield. Roy Mackay gets his place back. But this isn't quite Saviola and Tony, is it?
No, it's not. I actually really like Inzaghi. I've been wondering why he hasn't played him more. And I think as a pair, it's they got a good chance at scoring goals. If you played one of them as a sole striker, I wouldn't be too worried. But as a pair, I think it's decent enough with Mackay behind. He's gotten a lot of numbers out of Mackay. I hate him in the game, but hands down, Steve's made him deliver well, especially last season. I think the main thing with Dudley is when he plays this formation that he knows, and that won them the Super League, is that back seven is extremely strong from Vogel and down. Vogel is class in central midfield, very very good wing backs, and the center pairing is quality. Center defensive midfielders are good. There's going to be some interesting matchups with Zanetti and Candela and Dede and Contra and Vogel and Bambomo. It's going to be an interesting game, but I usually don't do very well when I play Dudley, so I would take a draw now if I were offered it.
Someone else who would probably take a draw is Mike Savage. Evening Power, who's seen join the chat. He hates this game. It's his two favourite clubs, he said.
Yeah, he's a lame. Oh, fuck's sake, yes. Oh, spilled my beer. Hey, go on.
So let's talk through your team then. Dudley have a very similar record to what Fulchester had against Haggis going into this. Dudley have a very, very good. You said you do struggle against Dudley Hill, and that proves it. But I mentioned that Rayed was still away on international duty. You don't have that problem. Zizi Roberts is back.
Yeah, it's massive for us because he's been really good. Let's be honest. He's been playing in the two until I sold Crespo, and he still scored a decent amount of goals. The rest of the team really just says itself. For the first time in what feels like ages, we've actually won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So no need to change things up. Couple of players in that 11 that the 11 is says itself really, except from probably Mido, who's that AMC position has been hard for us to. It's been hard to find a player that can deliver there because we tried many and none have delivered. But Mido has looked decent now, so I'm playing him until he fucks up. Other than that, it says itself. The team, a couple of players that's been a little bit underwhelming, but yeah, we hope that we found something that works and we'll stick with it.
Okay, well. As is customary, I won't ask you for a score prediction here, but I will wish you good luck. I will wish Steve good luck, and we will kick off tonight's main event. Defending champions Dudley Hill, who start the night in 7th, outside the dotted line on goal difference, against Hulls, who are only 1 point ahead of them in the table. Some interesting results already tonight. This is crucial for both sides. And it's the home side who have started very quickly, looking to get an early goal. Yellow card to Campbell, and then a chunk of time goes by. Still plenty of Dudley Hill. Not seeing much yet from Hulls, as we've got 28 minutes now on the clock. Free kick to the away side comes to nothing. Another yellow card, this time to Van Bommel. 34 on the clock. Dudley come forward again. Seeing Mido's name getting involved a little bit more now as we approach half time. Diving header attempt from Hulls. Addo gets involved with the last action of the game. And the referee, Mr. Fren, calls time at 0-0. Dudley looked quite dominant there, Jens, and they did create 4 chances in the half, 3 on target. Just the one for yourselves.
Yeah, as expected, really. I'm happy with the score at halftime, and even though Dudley's been better, I don't think they've been that dominant. So hopefully we can just hang in there and get a point.
Okay, let's have a look at Steve's side first. They are at home. It's been quite decent. All the players seeing plenty of the ball. Rio's been busy. Ado's been busy. Looking further forward, Mackay and Inzaghi having very, very similar output so far. So not a lot for Steve to be too concerned about there, really, is there?
No, I think he'll just carry on and hope that they can convert one of the chances into a goal. A little bit interesting that Eric Addo is the player firing most shots, but yeah.
Well, I think we all know why that is. As for yourself, Jens, those ratings look very average indeed.
Yeah, they do. If I can just make alteration and just put the arrow on Saviola, please.
Yeah, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy with that until 60.
Let's go to 60 then and see what happens with the slight tactical tweak there. It looks a lot more promising, that's for sure. Dudley now coming forward. And it's Mackay and Costanzo let it go, but he managed to clear. We're at the tactics break. Paul's far more to give than us. That's correct. They did look to start quite quickly, Steve. Your ratings continue to look strong. There's still no fitness concerns at all. I kind of think that still carry on. Although Addo and Vogel, two crucial players, both on yellow cards, with half an hour or so still to play, may come into his thinking.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he doesn't really have a DMC on the bench, does he? Could possibly put Vogel down in DM and put D'Alessandro on if he wants to chase a goal. I don't know.
He's keeping as is. Are we set to see Diego Tristan come on and have an impact somewhere?
If you can put back to the ratings, please, mate.
Yeah, no problem at all. It's tough at the top, isn't it, Jens?
Yeah, I think we're going to just stick as is.
Also sticking as is. Let's continue this game on then. Van Bommel getting involved, Mido getting involved. 15 minutes to play. We'll slow the commentary down a little bit as Mido gets it out to Candaya. Fine save from Abiati though. Moving towards the final 10 minutes. And time just ticking away for both men and both sides. Vogel coming forward. Rustico knocks Kaladze over. Vogel deflects off the wall. Malewski picks it up and clears. Dudley keep hold of the ball. Final 5 minutes before injury time now. As Sand drives forward, Mido gets in the way. 2 minutes to be added on. We're into those 2 minutes now. Absolutely nothing happening. Is there going to be injury time drama? Sand keeps going. Still Sand. Fouled. Free kick given. No time to take it. And the game finishes Dudley Hill 0, Pools Vikings 0. You said you'd take a draw?
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. Well played, Steve. Happy with that, to be honest.
Steele feels somewhat hard done by that his side haven't come away with a win there. Dele picks up man of the match. I said it on Thursday, though, when man of the match is getting an 8 rating, you kind of know, good Lord, absolutely nothing happening. Correct. That is the commentary. I always say when a player gets an 8 and man of the match, it pretty much sums the game up. Not
definitely.
Much really to discuss from either side there. It was just two decent sides working very hard against each other and nobody having that sort of sprinkling of star quality to turn a draw into a win.
Yeah, Dudley Hill was the better side. I hope Steve sticks with this formation because I think it's gonna bring him to the playoffs. I'm happy with a draw. I would have taken a draw before the match. I think it's a good point. Saviola disappointing for the first time since we signed him. He's been brilliant. Candela on the 6 is not normal either. up against Zanetti, so we probably shut him down. Other than that, the ratings are decent enough, and yeah, we just carry on and we take the point.
And that concludes the action. So let's go through the classifieds. We had Dragons beating Astor 3-2. We've just seen Dudley Hill 0, Halls 0. Gazelles beating Bostock 1-0. Haggis winning at home to Fulchester 3-1. Interestingly, just having a quick look at these, no home side lost tonight. Ledisford drawing 1-1 with Devils, Burn drawing 0-0 with Loco, and Sloths winning 2-1 at Churchtown. See what that does to the table. So Haggis now 4 points clear of Fulchester at the top. They themselves have a 7-point gap to yourself and Devils, Jens, who sit third and fourth respectively on 28 points. Then we've got 3 teams sprinkled either side of the dotted line on 27. Churchtown and Loco are the sides above it. Dudley below it on goal difference alone. Then there's a 2-point gap back to Ledisford, a further point gap to Dragons and Gazelles, a further point to Bostock. Astor, you're starting to think it's probably too much for them, and they just need to be wary of falling into a three-way battle with Sloths and Burn. The gap there, 3 points. But it remains sort of between 11th. I think it's Dimble who's put there, 3rd to 11th, but even more tight. It is 5 points between 3rd and 11th.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, every point matters at this stage. It's going to be extremely, up until the last round, it's going to be extremely interesting.
Astor think they've played a lot of away games. They have played more than anybody else. They've played 11. A few teams have played 10. And then Northern Burn have played 8. They've had the fewest amount of away games. Not a bad away record for Astor either. Quick look at the home table just for balance. Ledisford there remaining unbeaten. He wants the unbeaten at home trophy because everyone knows that's a thing. Every team has got points. Astor, look at Astor's home form compared to their away form. Bottom of the table. Let's have a look at the fixtures for Thursday before we finish the action and do the big announcements. We've got Astor at home.
Fucking hell.
This is good, isn't it? Where all the teams are 10th. We've got Astor at home to Sloths. We've got Bostock at home to Dragons. Churchtown Burn. Fulchester Gazelles. We've just heard your reaction to knowing that you've got league leaders Haggis at home next, Loco against Ledisford, and then Devils versus Dudley. Commentary position still available for Thursday night for whoever wants it. Other than fucking hell, what's your reaction to your next fixture?
Well, it says it's Haggis Hunters placed 10th on the table.
Yeah, it does this sometimes.
Hopefully I can play one of Campbell's from the other seasons he's played. No, that's the worst team I could play, possibly. Hopefully we can just grind out the draw there as well. I'll be happy with
that. The big announcement for game week 19 then. If only you had said nice things about Jens, I might have rested my main men.
I said nice things about you all the time. You
just doesn't listen.
Put my name brother out of your team, please. Campbell. And I'm going to be your wingman in Edinburgh in November.
As we move into the final 7 games of the season from game week 20, I will allow every team one final main transfer to try and rescue or survive or improve your season. So one more transfer each, which will be processed after game week 20. So you can start negotiating it now, but you will get one more transfer to try and change the course of your season. So enjoy the absolute carnage in the DMs as you try to find that one man who's going to make the difference. That is tonight's big announcement. There will be another announcement on Thursday, and that will still have an impact on what happens this season.
Fantastic.
Does the 24 change? Alf, the 24 changes after game week 20. So
Can we just all? I mean, that's fantastic news, and you, if I read it correctly, you're going to run it next season as well.
Yeah, so that was announced today. Yes, after getting feedback from certain people as to what part they would like to play next season, about whether they could, who wants to run it, or if they don't want to run it, who's happy to help with admin and stuff. Yes, I've said that I will. I did say this was going to be my last year. I thought 3 seasons was fair, but I have agreed to do a 4th to oversee the transition into the new Super League. So yes,
That's
I will run it again
mate.
next year.
You're a fucking legend, mate.
There will be an admin team, not so class us. There will be an admin team in place to help me with the setting up the whole new teams, because there'll be new team names, new team colours, new squads. But that's all to come. Let's focus on this year. But yes, next season I will be in charge again.
That's fantastic.
I'm pretty much going to go on record now and saying 4 will be my lot. I will not be running it for a 5th. I think I've done my time after that.
Every season we can get with you is fantastic, mate.
But let's focus on this year. You've got 1 additional transfer, Jens. Go and do something.
Yeah, I know, and I just want to say that very, very, very good news. I'm gonna use my transfer wisely, but can we all just make sure now, when this show's ending, that we all go in and just block Lokomotiv Boston from Twitter? Keep him out of this, please. I'm gonna do it. I don't want 50 messages on my first vacation day from Mr. Lokomotiv. You all do it, and he sticks with the team he has.
Are you all blocking Dudley and Churchtown for their scandalous transfer of Luca Toni as well, out of punishment?
No, I'm. If there was a committee, I would have reported them to the committee. But there's no committee anymore.
See, this is what people forget. There is actually a Super League advisory board that consists of no current managers. That every time I want to run a decision by, I do just stick something in the committee, just to say, what do you think to this idea?
So who do I complain to?
There is an advisory board. So if you'd like to put an official complaint in, send it to the CM account and it will go to the advisory board.
Definitely. I'm on it.
Can you get an out-of-league signing rather than an internal one? A lot of teams are pretty much maxed out on their foreign players. But yes, if I can fit one into your squad, then yes, you can have it. That's not a problem. Do your deals before he wakes, says Dimble. No one give Greasy a striker. My DMs are open. Let's have it, and we look forward to next season also. Awesome news, Fifey. Steve would be having a wank if his lad wasn't around. This news is arousing.
Everyone is going to get a message at 5 a.m. from Lokomotiv Boston. 100% sure.
What is a Greavesy, says Duggan. Jens, but before everyone completely loses their mind about 1 additional transfer, can I just thank you very much for jumping in very late notice and offering up what was an exceptional co-coms performance tonight. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, mate. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm sorry I haven't been able to come on earlier.
It was worth the wait.
It always seems to crash a bit with things going on, but happy to be here. And
fine, mate.
Well done, mate.
We all have lives to live. Dimble's deleted his shortlist. From me and from Jens, until Thursday from Super League HQ, enjoy the carnage of sorting out a transfer. Good night.
Good night.